Hi friends, host Eric and Rachel here, and we're going to do something that I haven't done in a long time, which is make a car video. Delilah and Winston's mom purchased me some various accessories that have proved to be very useful. I don't remember who gave me this one, whether it was Delilah or Winston's mom, but it's this little thing that it just so happens to make it easy to film in the car, I guess. Anyhow, I want to talk about narcissism, psychopathy, and personality type. Because I got a text this morning from somebody asking, I don't know who it was, it's somebody who sent me texts before, and they're typically fairly adversarial, I guess, but who was asking about a link between psychopathy, narcissism, and particularly ENTP, ESTP, polar FI. My short response to him was, I think those things are unrelated, but
I don't think so either.
I wanted to, I haven't talked to Rachel about it at all until this moment. I wanted to get Rachel's perspective on, first of all, what do you think psychopathy, sociopathy, and narcissism actually are? How can we tell them apart from things that aren't that? And yeah.
That's actually very interesting, because I have been researching narcissism lately for some reason. Like, I like those Dr. Ramani videos on narcissism. She seems to be very knowledgeable.
I've watched one or two of those myself.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you have some idea of what she speaks of. Psychopathy, sociopathy, and narcissism.
The dark triad.
Yeah, or the dark triads, yeah. I think I know best narcissism. It's in my family, and I also dated someone with narcissism.
How do you think it plays out?
They don't like to take accountability. That's a high trait in narcissism.
Well, one thing I was thinking when I was in the bathroom was, people talk about narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths as being very self-focused, self-absorbed. In my mind, narcissists, at least, are actually very other-focused.
Yes.
In other words, I'm self-absorbed, and so I might accidentally step on someone's feelings periodically. But narcissists are interested in controlling other people's feelings.
Yes.
And experiences.
Correct.
And making their lives subsumed by the narcissist's concerns.
Right. So one thing that Dr. Ramani was saying was that for narcissists, they like to feel like they are controlling your feelings. So if you have a person has a discussion with someone with narcissism, and you're saying, you're hurting my feelings, or what you said is upsetting me, that only makes them feel better, because it's like, ha ha ha, I made them feel this way, I have control over.
But they're likely to respond with something like, listen, that's your issue here. You
Right.
own your own feelings, okay?
Or
I was just telling you the truth. And
yes,
blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
That kind of shit,
Yeah, or you're not really that upset, or I was not being serious there. Like, gaslighting basically happens next. So that's what I know about. I also know for narcissism, it is other people focused, because however they were raised, it's said to be that it's something that is learned, and then so if you're in a narcissistic family, there's a high risk for another person in the family to also have narcissism.
Because if you're raised by a narcissistic parent, then you're being taught over and over again that you as you are not good enough.
Right.
And that you need to alter yourself in various ways, often double binding ways, which is to say, you must do X, Y, and Z, but you can't use any of the things you need to use to do X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
Shit like that, you know?
Exactly.
So, obviously, if you're raised like that, you're going to have some very unhealthy sense of self in general. But what I want to talk about a little bit is the fact that the reason people think it might link to ENTP, ESTP is the FI polar, which on some level makes some sense, right? Some intuitive sense. But the fact is, FI polar is not, trying to avoid a little sun thing there a little bit. But FI polar is an absolute value. I have FI as an absolute value. FI polar is likely to accidentally hurt someone's feelings, not recognize it, and then when it's made visible to them somehow, like in other words, when it's made part of their experience, the FI polar person will go, "Oh shit, I hurt someone's feelings," and then feel real bad about it.
Yes.
You know, that's FI polar. It's sort of a blindness, but it's not there's no gratification in being willfully harmful that might happen, or that you'd expect to happen to see in a sociopath or a narcissist or whatever.
Correct.
And the other thing is, in fact, I don't know about other ENTPs, but I'm very sensitive. I can't see suffering, let alone cause suffering, without feeling a great deal of poorly controlled FI. Like I have a very childlike relationship with my FI, so I was watching a show the other day where it was an anime show, and there was this big lion creature, ironically named Tiger Son, and he had waited for a long time in this dungeon for his friend to get out of level 6 and come back and see him, but when his friend finally came back after hundreds of years, he said, "Well, but we can't hang out anymore, I gotta go home." It was just so sad, and I was just saying, like, standing in the kitchen, stirring my coffee, "I don't like this is sad." I was like saying that out loud to myself, you know, like a little child, basically. So it's not the case that FI polar is callous towards feelings, and I'm assuming the same thing is true for ESTP as well. For disorders, for unhealthy expressions of self, things like narcissism, sociopathy, and BPD, they're generally, if not always, nurture driven, not nature driven.
Yes, I agree with that, and I think it can happen. I think those things in the dark triad can happen to any type. I don't think there's.
And I should mention, if you're watching Black Clover, you might be a little bit confused. We're not talking about the dark triad of devil-infested magicians in the Spade Kingdom. Okay, we're talking about your narcissism, your psychopathy, and your sociopathy.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.
Yeah, bye.